Can you inform me when we have Substack chat up?
Will do.
Yay. All right. So there's one.
There it is.
Okay, cool.
It is now.
Okay, great. I really enjoy that fact. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Deep Exhale, where we talk about life, survival, trauma, and emotions. I'm Wendy. My two co-hosts are Sarah and Onyx. We are queer trans persons in spectrum, and we talk about these subjects that will, um, help us all just survive the bullshit that we're all going through in the moment. And so, with that, I'll go right into today's topic. So, some mornings, the world hands you something heavy before you have even had coffee. Um, you know, it's 7 a.m. You pick up your phone and you start doom scrolling through Blue Sky or, uh, the news feed or whatever. Um, and it's loud. I mean, the machinery of harm is grinding, and the distance between, you know, my one small life and the lives of millions and the enormity of what's wrong can feel like standing at the edge of something that has no bottom to it. Um, and so today we're going to talk about that, not to not to make it smaller than it is, but to remind you that um, what you're made of, where you come from, who came before you, and why they were carrying the same weight that we carry now. And so um, I cede to Audre Lorde when I write. Audre Lorde is a person of color and a feminist and a lesbian and is a source of intense and immense inspiration to me personally. Um, and she says, I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different from my own. Um, and so I bring this up because it's recently come out that the mother of the environmental movement, the progenitor of the Environmental Protection Agency, and the environment movement as a whole, turns out she was a queer woman, a lesbian, Rachel Carson. Carson wrote about the interconnectedness of living things, that you can't poison one part of the web without poisoning the entirety of that web. Um, Lorde wrote the same truth in human terms. Your freedom is bound to your neighbors, to the trans teenager who lives 2 states away, to the woman who loved Dorothy Freeman in secret while reshaping public view. Um, this morning, we sit with that binding. That binding exists between all of us. Um, it's your inheritance. It's not a weight. The administration wants you to feel atomized. And I've said this in previous lives. The current administration wants us to feel diminutive and small and contained and fitting into a box that we all belong in, or they think we all belong in. And that's wrong. Um, you know, they want us uh, to remember that our struggle is anyone else's. And that lie is load bearing for them. If you don't accept it, it destroys the entire framework they built on top of it. And so we have to carry it forward. And so, um, you know, this begs the question, when did you last feel someone else's pain in yourself. And what did you do with it? I have had that happen a lot. I'm a transit rider. I ride transit because I don't like to drive my car. I have a car, I just don't like to drive it. And so one day on the train, somebody was bad mouthing another person. And I walked up to them and I said, "You need to leave them alone. Because you're picking on them, you might as well pick on me too. And probably a few other people on this train." My maternal instincts kick in and I can't let that go. I hear that and it affects me, and it affects me in a way that I can't ignore, or I can't not say something about. And so my immediate knee-jerk reaction is to rush to fix whatever it is. And so I've done that countless times, probably putting myself in relative danger by doing so. But I've done it. It's happened. So, that's what I've done in those cases. Sarah, when was the last time you had to do that? And what did you do?
I mean, that question is kind of a spectrum of experience. Because on the one hand, a few months ago, we had neighbors who were arguing, and I could have just stayed in the house and pretended like I didn't hear it. But instead, I went on the porch and made it obvious that I was witnessing. I didn't intervene because I didn't have to, because it never got that far. But if I needed to, I was there. I saw what happened. I could have called authorities into it if I needed to, or just intervened on my own.
If you had intervened, what would that look like?
I can't even theorize on that.
Are these people that you have a relationship with?
No.
Do you have a relationship with your neighbors?
Some of them, but not those two. The one that was the recipient of the aggression no longer lives in that house. Her and her husband have moved, unfortunately.
Right.
The other one is the relatively new fiance of one of the peacocks that lives across the street.
Hold on a second. Peacocks? I need for you to quantify that, please.
Did you say peacocks? Yeah.
I did say peacocks.
Yeah.
So
peacocks.
When we first moved into this house, my child and I were here. We were waiting for the cable person to come install the internet. And we had gone out in front of the house because the house had been on the market for like a year before we bought it. So there was trash in the yard and whatever. And it was a nice day. So we're outside. We're picking up trash in the front. And next thing I know, there's these three guys outside of their house directly across the street. And like they all come out, they bring out their cars and their motorcycle and this and that. And all of a sudden they're out there shirtless in shorts washing their vehicles. And I looked at my child and I said, "This is for your benefit, not mine." So from that day forward, we started calling them peacocks because they were out there strutting.
Nice.
I did not understand that this was a euphemism.
Right. I didn't know where it was going. I thought you were talking literal peacocks. And I was like, okay.
Michigonian euphemisms are unusual to me. I do not understand this alien speak that you are making.
That was mainly referring to their behavior, and it just became a title.
I mean, I don't feel like that's necessarily a bad thing. It's just, I mean, everything has to have a name, right? I
I
mean,
guess.
there is a variance of dichotomy in the world. We wouldn't have trans women if there wasn't such a dichotomy. Because back in the 70s, they just call you mentally ill. You know, you are the wrong gender, or you're the wrong orientation, or whatever. Okay, but that means you're, that means you're mentally unstable, which is sad, but still, it's true. Um, I don't like it any more than anyone else does, um, but it's a reality that we all have to sort of accept. So Onyx, the last time you had to witness something and speak out?
Well, I want to first of all reinforce the quote that I am not free while any woman is unfree. So in this respect, I am like a therapist. And people come to me with their problems. I witness their problems. I allow them the space to vent, to get anything they need off of their chest. And in that same respect, I have people that I go to that are the same way. And I'm not talking about paid professional therapists, because, yes, those are great. But when it comes to personal things, when it comes to political things, you need to talk to someone who's in the fight with you. When it comes to physical, like physical confrontation, I have no problem with that. I will stand up for just about anybody I feel is being wronged. I have a mouth on me. I don't know how to fight, which is a big problem. So if my mouth, gets me in trouble, I'm gonna get my ass kicked, and that's fine, But I have a good mouth on me, and that's protected me so far. So, yeah, I will talk. I will make my voice heard. When I want to, I can sound like a badass. Um, you know, it may be fake, but that's okay. I feel like I feel like when it's necessary, I will stand up, and when it's necessary, I will go down fighting. They will have to, yeah, yeah. I won't. I won't hesitate to fight dirty. I'll pull some balls. Anything that needs to happen. No.
Wendy, you're muted.
I'm not bitching about either. I mean, I know how to fight, and I'm 53 fucking years old, and I can't fight as good as I could have fought 30 years ago. But that doesn't mean I'm not gonna go down. I'm not gonna go down with it.
I have never had to fight.
Yeah, neither have I, but that doesn't mean I won't go down. Like Wendy said, I'm 10 toes down. If like one of my trans people or queer people are in the thick of it, yeah, I'm going to be in there with them,
Oh, I was just saying that I wouldn't. I've just said I've never had to.
Right. I've never had to either. So it's theoretically.
I mean, you would hope.
Right.
It is the hope that you never have to. But, insofar as that, and insofar as how that works and how that feels, you still have to work that out. and I get it though. I mean, it's true. Um, so leading into that, um, the strength. It says, Marsha P. Johnson, we are not here to be observers of the universe. We're here to change it, the universe. And Johnson didn't have the luxury of resignation. In all honesty, we don't either. We really don't have the luxury of resignation. In Marsha P. Johnson's case, she was unhoused. She was a person of color. She was trans. And she was in the crosshairs of every institution at that time. But she still built Star House. Still showed up at protests with flowers in her hair, and she dragged joy into every room that tried to shut her out. Today isn't any different. Today's hard. The administration is designed to make it feel impossible. Not because the situation deserves optimism, but because we do. The marrow of resistance is showing up anyway, and we do deserve that. Not because things are fine, not because people like Marsha proved that beauty and defiance can live in the same body at the same time. Take that with you today. It belongs to you. It's yours. It's mine. It's Sarah's. It's Onyx's. These are all realities that we deal with. Some days it's strong, some days it's not. I ask myself the question today is, what does showing up look like on the days when you have nothing left to get? You're on dead empty. You literally are at the bottom of the bucket, scraping what fuel you have left, if at all. What does your resistance look like then? And for me, it's, I get up. I mean, I have nothing. I barely have enough to get through my work day. Of course, in today's case, I didn't have to work. It's a company holiday, but that's it. That's what you have. And so, it becomes that problem. So, what do you do? I get up, I write the Daily Digest. I don't even write the Daily Digest right off. Right off, I look at all the shit that's going into the Daily Digest, and then I literally say, what in the absolute fuck? Why the fuck do I have to write about this? Well, I have to write about it because I need to inform. Because if I don't inform people what's going on, or how things are happening, or what things are happening, then, it's sort of like, what effort have I even put forth to support everybody that needs that support? So that's what I do. Hi, Sacred, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't tell you hello.
Hi, Sacred.
Early on. But that's what's showing up when I have no fuel of my own volition to show up happen. So Sarah, what does it look like when you have nothing?
Oh, when I have nothing left.
Maybe you give it to your person that you haven't met yet.
I think when I have nothing left, it's a matter of me finding the silver lining in something. Whether that be something small, like finding that there's a snack that me and my child can share together that we haven't had in a while, that we forgot we had. Something small like that, or a day like today where it's warm enough that the sun's melting the snow and we're actually starting to see green again. Finding comfort in the little things, drawing from those things that refuel me, usually slowly over time.
Slowly over time.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Checkers for lunch today.
But did you get fries?
Oh, I got you. Oh, honey.
The Checkers fries are bomb.com.
Oh, yes.
Bomb.com. The best fries in the world.
I most certainly got. I most certainly got French fries. Their fries are I'm with Onyx. Their fries are the fucking bomb. So Onyx,
well, so
what does it look like when you're on dead empty?
It doesn't look good. Let me put it to you like that. It doesn't look good at all. I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel, trying to, and when I say this, I'm not trying to be facetious or anything like that. I'm trying to stay alive. And staying alive for me looks like reaching out, begging for someone to say something, just a little something that will keep me from going over the edge. And then from there, allowing myself to be that for someone else. It really is a two-way street. And when I am at the bottom, I realize that one of the ways I can help myself out and makes me feel better about myself is that if I can help somebody else. We're all connected, like Audre Lorde said, we are all connected. And like the whole animism and the ominism, as humans and as animals and like the whole ecosystem on this planet, we're all connected. So it's just a matter of finding the right language to explain your situation, to pull yourself out of this hole, and then to march forward, without regret and without with the understanding that people do falter, and that it is natural and that it is normal, and it's okay, and all you have to do sometimes is ask for help, even if you have to beg, get that little piece that you need to keep you from going over the edge. No.
As reasonably as you would expect. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. When I say that, I think, and I've yet to be called out for quoting Essex Hemphill, but Essex Hemphill was an amazing lyricist. And so, to his words, now I think the only protest is to stay alive, and that's completely true.
Yeah, definitely.
Hemphill wrote this with the math wrote this when the math was brutal and the losses were stacking faster than anyone could grieve. And he chose those words. The only protest, not march, not organize, not resist, is literally to stay alive. Because he understood something that the moment demands that we remember. We as humans are demanded to remember these moments, and that moment is that your continued presence is not passive, and nor should it ever be.
Right.
Onyx, your presence is not passive. You do not need permission for your presence. Your presence is your own. Sarah, it's the same for you. You shouldn't live under anyone's conditions. You shouldn't live under anyone's rules that regulate who you are. Being yourself is whatever the fuck that is. And that should be it. And so every morning you wake up and you refuse to become hollow, frightened, isolated, fitting into a box that society is trying to shove you in. That is a political act. Rachel Carson loved her wife, would have been her wife, in secret. And she changed the world anyway. Minnesota has shown us that there are cracks in the political system, that everything that we thought was true about the political system is now actually turning to be false. And in Hemphill's case, Hemphill wrote poems the government just entirely pretends don't exist. I doubt many people have ever heard of Essex Hemphill. And if you haven't read Hemphill's work, you should. You totally should read Hemphill's poetry. It's amazing. And yet, here we are today reading an excerpt from a text that he wrote. Staying is the work, not performing wellness, not pretending it's fine, just remaining intact, connected, and stubbornly here. I'm a stubborn fucking bitch, and I'm not ever going to go the fuck away. It doesn't matter what the fuck anyone says to me. I'm not going to bend over and just take it. I mean, unless
theoretically,
it's another type of situation, and then that's do that today. That is enough, and that's always been enough. And so, I ask the readers, and I ask my co-hosts, I even ask myself, what does it feel like to treat your own survival as an act of defiance rather than a burden? What does it do for me? That makes me strong. That makes me fearless. That makes my anxiety go away. It doesn't always work. I'm a vulnerable person. I have anxiety attacks all the fucking time. I mean, there's people in this room at this very moment that can tell you that I panic and I don't deal with it very well at all. And in some cases, during the worst parts of the day. But when I don't look at me living and surviving and breathing as a burden, then it's a strength. It's like setting down a stone that I didn't know I was carrying and picking up something that actually belongs to me, that I love, or that I cherish, that I value. That's what my defiance being, um, you know, an act of beauty versus an act of attrition and burdensome feelings. And yeah, I mean, it makes me strong. I'm certain it makes other people strong. But what does that do? That goes back to the first statement, which is that's the thing that makes me feel strong, and I'm able to ignore, all of the things that I'm trying to deal with, and then my maternal instinct kicks in, and then I just want to mom everybody, and so that's the person that makes me go around the room and say, "Are you okay? You look like you're having a hard time. Is there something that I can do? And what can I do to make that less?" My work people are probably all super annoyed by it because I just randomly ask people, "Are you doing okay? It looks like you're having a hard time. Is there something that I can do?" I can't help it. I just do it. You know, it just, that's how it works itself out. Sarah?
I don't know what the question was.
When what you're carrying is positive versus a burden, how does that make you feel?
Then it doesn't make me feel like I'm carrying anything at all
Why not?
because it's not a burden.
Then what does it make you feel?
Hmm. I mean, I guess that's different for every situation.
Why?
It depends on what aspect of my life that item that I'm carrying is coming from.
What were you doing before you were what were you doing when you were carrying that burden? Because you were carrying it before. You didn't know what it was. Or you thought you knew what it was, but you weren't sure. It wasn't until some girl you know asked you a bunch of questions that it became a little more clear. I don't know what that bitch's problem is.
I mean, at a certain point, I didn't know it was a burden that I was carrying. So I think, regardless of what you're carrying, it's about mindset.
I agree completely with that opinion. I mean, the mindset that we carry is, it's deeply emotionally affecting of us. And it deeply affects us. That's not any different. So I'll ask the question again, Onyx.
Okay.
What does it look like when it's not a burden? And how does it make you feel?
When it's not a burden, meaning when it's not a burden, of course it makes me feel great. I feel like I'm doing the greater good, and it may be one person at a time, but I, I am reaching out. Like I don't know, it's kind of like I don't know if y'all remember the L word. Fuck, I can't remember her name, but of all the connections that all ladies had together, like who slept with who, and it's kind of like that. I am this central hub, and not really a central hub, but in the center of it is me, and I'm touching this person and this person, and that person is touching another person who is touching another person. So we're creating this hub of people who we can kind of go to in times of need, and in times of necessary, in times that are necessary, times like this, where if we need to pass, I don't want to say secret information.
Oh. You got her?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
The timing on that, my goodness.
But yeah, I feel great when I connect with other people on a one-on-one basis. My main work is not to lead from the front. My main work is leading from the back, in the shadows, in the quiet, where I feel comfortable moving the parts around. And I feel like when I'm down in the druthers, when I'm down, that's when other people come to help me, and it makes me feel like, yes, I'm not alone, and I have this connection with this stream of people, and they aren't going to let me down, and I'm not going to let them down. It's a partnership.
It's like a network of influence.
Yeah, it really is. It's a network.
Well, all of that is very interesting because our perseverance, our resistance, and our showing up is actually starting to affect the system. Meanwhile, on top of that, the system is eating itself. So I was writing about this morning, so I want to sort of talk through this. But the core of it is this. Here we are in mid-February of 2026. We are over 365 days into Orange shit stains administration. And the party that put him there is starting to show cracks. And those are cracks that they can't really do anything about. Be that House Republicans, there were 5 of them that broke ranks and signed the discharge position to force a vote on ACA subsidies, which happened. Senate fractures have cracked over the government shutdown strategy, members splintering from the leadership. We saw Marjorie Taylor Greene actually leave Congress and say MAGA is a lie.
But before she left, she put that trans ban through. It's like she said,
yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing, is that this goes back to the whole, it's the faulty argument that stupid conservatives use, where they say the Democratic Party is the party of the KKK. That may be true, but
like years ago,
in 1965,
right?
In the 40s, 50s, and 60s, liberal politics in the U.S. did not exist.
No,
there was not liberal. Everyone had a wife. You went home to her. She kept the house. She raised the kids. Liberal politics did not start to show its face in American politics until the late 60s or early 70s. Right. So before that, There were conservative Democrats and there were conservative Republicans. And left-leaning politics in the U.S. didn't really exist as a whole. And so, Margie leaving the MAGA boat doesn't make her less of a disgusting, fucked up individual for saying all the shit that she said. She just ducked out of the ship before it sinks entirely.
Can I ask you something, Wendy?
Yeah.
What do you think about? Yeah, the Republican Party is splintering, but what do you think about the Democratic Party? Because there are leftists who are like, I am not voting for Kamala if she's on the ticket. There are a lot of people who are like, yeah, fuck the Democratic Party. They have said this, and this, and have done exactly nothing. What then becomes of the race? Like who stands to gain from this?
So here's the thing about the Democratic Party. You have established Democrats who believe that we're going to be the better person. That mentality has to end. The mentality of established Democrats that says we have to toe the line and we have to be the better person. We have to not stoop down to attacking the people. That bullshit is over. Because it's clear the no and slow mentality, that's what it's called, isn't working. I mean, it just is not working. The system needs to evolve. And it needs to evolve in a positive way. And it's time for real political change for that to happen. I was shocked. I don't do this that often. I troll through Twitter on occasion. And there are a large body of Twitter accounts that are calling for ICE to be removed and that what ICE is doing is wrong.
Wait, removed completely?
Yeah, like, no, time to abolish ICE. And there are MAGA accounts that are saying that. And that's scary because that literally says there are MAGA accounts, by the way, especially on Twitter and the other resources, Gab and those others that are saying if Trump's name is in the Epstein files, he needs to be. There are MAGAs that are turning on Trump.
Like if. Come on now. Like, where's this if coming from?
Here's the thing. The Epstein files deal, that is a polarizing point. That's, in my honest opinion, the Epstein files, that's the thing that's going to bring the house of cards down.
Yeah, it should. Everybody who's in it. Every single person.
I mean, the French government announced, I believe yesterday or the day before, that they are now going to prosecute people. They're going to attempt to prosecute. So now Europe is saying, okay, now we're going to prosecute people who are in the Epstein files. America won't do it. Pam Bondi's Epstein files hearing was a joke. She basically answered no question, deflected every time, and then further still, there was a moment where she was standing in front of Epstein victims. Not only would she not talk to them, but she wouldn't establish eye contact with them.
Yeah,
that means she knows. Yeah, that means she that bitch knows.
Yeah. Well, she was the AG. Wasn't she the AG of Florida? Like back when Epstein was in Florida or Trump was in Florida. Yeah, It's just boom, 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 boom. Like he is giving her reward, her just rewards for allowing this shit to happen for years.
I agree. Yes, I agree completely. I agree completely. Oh, and then on top of that, another crack in the divide is the fact that we're now up to 30 Republicans who are leaving Congress and are not going to seek re-election. Why do you think that is? Because they know that if they run, they will lose.
So,
They will lose anyway. Time to get out. I got my money. I did all my insider trading. That's what happened with Margie. Why did Margie get out? Because she did all of her insider trading and she got her, $85 million or whatever. Now she can get out and she can do whatever the fuck she wants.
right.
It's not as noble or whatever. And Onyx, you and I live in a state where Margie lives. If I ever see that woman, I'm literally going to say, hey, Jewish fucking space lasers and gazpacho police. And by the way, the gazpacho police is in a peach tree dish. Because I'm sorry. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't. But here was another thing. Gary Kendrick, who is a California city council member, he's been a Republican for 50 years. You know what happened earlier last week?
He voted for the first time? Is this motherfucker?
No. He actually signed to become a member of the Democratic Party.
Oh.
A Republican for 50 fucking years, and he leaves the party.
Did you hear that in Georgia? I think it's in Georgia. Kemp's nominee to be something hasn't voted in 20 years. Has not voted in 20 years. Like,
at that point, like, what's the person's fucking job?
right. Like how are you going to be a congressperson or anything? Exactly.
If they're not in there voting, what's the point of them even being there? Like, they're not doing their job. Fire them.
Right. I don't know how you can be appointed to a position without having voted for 20 years.
Who the fuck knows? Honestly, who the fuck knows? I mean, I literally don't know. There's not a, on top of that, I know, and then get this, the Texas Republican Party is in active rebellion against it. So they're trying to redistrict. There are members of the Texas Republican Party that are bleeding members of support, because they can't hold on. So the GOP is literally losing their base. Their base is disappearing. And before they even have any time to do anything about it. And they don't realize it. The dam of Trump's grip on the party, it hasn't burst, but we're talking like the dikes in Holland, and it's leaking out in numerous places, and 2 fingers is not going to plug it up. Although I'm pretty sure there's a lesbian joke in there somewhere. I'm not.
I was thinking more a different way, but I guess it could, wow.
I'm not. I'm not going to hit that euphemism. But yeah, if a politician, there was a congresswoman who was in assisted living and in full-blown dementia, had not voted in 5 years, and they weren't even aware that she was in managed care. How the fuck does that happen?
And people keep on voting for her year after year after year, or I guess they didn't have to vote for year after year. That's as bad as the Republican conspiracy that dead people are voting.
Dead people are running Congress.
Right.
There are, let's be fair. I mean, we have a dementia patient that's running the country right now. Donald Trump is a dementia patient. I don't give a shit what anyone tells you.
100%. 100%.
There's visibles right down to, I noticed this the other day, he signing an executive order. I love this, by the way. they show him the executive order. They tell him what it is. The last time I checked, the president is supposed to write the executive orders. So if he wrote it, isn't he supposed to know what it is before he signs it? No, they show it to him. They tell him what it is, and then get this. Now, just watch the next time you see him sign something. He puts it down. He puts the executive order down, and it's on the right side of the table. And he signs with his right hand. And what happens is he signs with his right hand, and it does not cross the right hemisphere of his body. You know why? Because he's had a stroke.
I mean, there's been something fishy about the way he's been signing stuff for a while.
Yeah.
There was the
that makes the auto pen bullshit like even more viscerally stupid to me. But there are, and then on top of that too, like he was in a meeting over the weekend and it was very clear that they had makeup like his entire hand. Like
right.
It was more than just like there was like the little patch or whatever. Like they they took his hand and pushed it into a vat of foundation and then blended it over or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, can you get any more obvious that there's a problem?
Next thing you know, he's just going to be wearing gloves everywhere.
Yeah, well, that might be the best thing. Just go ahead and wear gloves.
If the gloves don't fit, you must quit.
There we go. Yes, Johnny Cochran.
Now this is Chewbacca, and he's from the planet Kashyyyk, and that does not make sense. Oh my God, the Chewbacca defense. I'm sorry, if you're not a South Park person, then you won't get why that's funny. But yeah, we've reached a point where 65% of Americans believe ICE has gone too far. And, there is a pressure cooker that is building on forcing GOP officials to inch away from the administration's violent immigration campaign. I mean, right now, the DHS is shut down. DHS is shut down. Can't do anything. And Congress, by the way, is on a break for a week. So they're not going to fix that in the next 7 days. So ICE isn't going to be running around arresting and killing people. There's going to be a reprieve. On top of the fact that, and this kills me, Kristi Noem announced, Sarah, I want your thoughts about this. Kristi Noem announced like 2 days ago that she is now sure that in the midterm elections, all the right people are going to be voting.
Right people?
Yes, right people.
All the right people.
Who are the right people?
Right.
That's what I want to know.
Right.
Yeah. Like who are they saying the right people are?
Well, here's the thing about that. Here's what's sort of unusual about it. Tom Homan, the border czar, he came out yesterday and said, I have no idea what she is talking about. The right people.
That's bad when people that you're supposed to be aligned with don't even know what you're talking about.
Right. So Noem is a runaway train. Bondi is a runaway train. And people are mad. And here's the thing. Conservative, MAGA, Trumper people are mad. And so with Margie out in left field, trying to make people feel, like understand that the whole MAGA thing was a lie. She's pushing that narrative. And here's the thing. There are MAGAs that are starting to believe her.
Okay, but now what about Nick Fuentes? That is an area where it is getting stronger and stronger,
because extremity. Okay. I hate using a cheesy anime reference, but there's an old Confucian saying, and the Confucian saying is this: that when opposites become the same, um, I believe the actual quote is, "When opposites become as one, a savior will come out of that. Out of that, that's what's going to happen. When both sides turn in the same direction, the situation will self-correct in some way. Yeah, I will. I'll say this, and I've said this before: if things continue to get worse, eventually somebody is going to vote from a rooftop.
Yes.
With a high power rifle, and
Yeah.
the situation's going to be done.
Yeah.
That's Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were things that bad back then? I don't know, not really. I mean, I wasn't alive back then, so I can't tell you. But yeah, we're fastly approaching, if we're not already completely at. Well, yes, we are at that point because somebody assassinated Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, no.
Somebody
now,
got
do you
on a
think-
roof. Do what?
Do you think that was an inside job, or do you think it was just the guy that they?
No. Charlie Kirk think that was a dude. That was somebody that was like, I'm tired of this shit. Goodbye.
Well, good. I shouldn't say good, but whatever.
I mean, look at it from this perspective. Luigi Mangione is not going to get the death penalty for his federal. He's not federally criminally negligent.
Well, unfortunately, the leader of he is responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths. So yes, Mangione did blow his head off, or I don't know how he killed him, but there's I guess an eye for an eye type of thing here.
I mean, in my honest opinion, yes. I mean, okay, here's what I feel about Charlie Kirk. Karma is a fucking bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she is a bitch that does not sit down quietly. She just doesn't. Yeah, and it sucks. And not by a little bit. It sucks by a lot. So, yeah, that's where I am at this point. So with all of that, I will say, in closing, because we're approaching on the hour, and I have Checker Rally lunch that I have yet to have consumed. Checker Rally burger, yay!
Can't.
You don't have to be fearless. You don't have to be certain. You just have to remain present, connected, stubborn, but rooted in the fact that your life, that my life, that Sarah's life, that Onyx's life, all of our lives, and our presence matter in ways that this moment is actively trying to make us forget. The people whose words live in these pages weren't untouchable. They were exhausted and afraid, and yet they still managed to build something over time. So do you. So do I. So does Sarah. So does anybody else. Not tomorrow, right now. That's the thing you carry forward. And that thread pulled taut between you and someone else, is the whole architecture of resistance that we need. Because society has proven that in the extremity of one, the resistance of the other is affecting that extremity, and it needs to continue. And it needs to continue to be what it is. Resistance. So, Sarah, Onyx, do you have anything to close with?
I just want to shout out people who have, and they know who they are pretty much over the last week or two, have kind of kept me alive, and I don't mean that in a joking way. So, once again, it's network issues. You have little pockets of people who end up helping at times when they don't know they're helping. A kind word, and like you said, Wendy, resistance is living. Especially for queer people who are trying to be forced back into the closet now, or queer trans kids who are losing chances for puberty blockers and having to go through the aching pain of puberty. Living is what matters, so that they see people like you and me, Wendy, make it through to the other side, struggling from the beginning, make it through to the other side. And, that is why, just to live, like you said, just to live. And I'm happy that I'm still living, because there are many times where I was not close to it. No.
Well, thank you. Please continue to do that very thing. I can't make it without you guys. I can't make it without the people watching. I can't make it without the people in my life who love and care about me. And why should I? So I won't. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching. If you're watching, we'll be back on Friday, probably. If not, Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know. We'll see. But with that, I will say good day. Go out and do good things. Help people when you can. And we'll be back.
Sabiento. Peace and chicken grease.